welcome. I'm Tracy Pa with the Midday News. The grandfather of the late Jessica Yori, who was stabbed to death at the Tabari bus stop in NCD during the Red Vemba walk yesterday, called on the national government and police to regulate the use and selling of knives and bush knives. Jessica Yori's family continued to pursue justice for their slain daughter. Her grandfather, Lucas Muka, and relatives participated in the Red Vemba walk over the weekend as part of their commitment to ending violence against women and girls. They also put forward a plea to the government and law enforcers to regulate the use and selling of bush knives and knives, as they are being abused and used as weapons to harm and kill.
That are happening in the city now are through bush knives and knives. Bush knives and knives must be controlled. The sales of bush knives and knives must be controlled. The usage of bush knives and knives must be controlled. I am now asking you, the authority, the city authority, the metropolitan city, the national government, to seek seriously into this one.
Muka called on the police hierarchy to beef up manpower in public spaces and capture the main culprit who stabbed his granddaughter to death. The suspect is still on the run, and City Governor Powers Pakop is also urging police to capture the alleged killer.
Not being done. Up to now, the perpetrator is still roaming around free, and I want to add my voice to their call for the police to multiply their effort to reach out to arrest this person. We all know him, and we must arrest him. And when we arrest one perpetrator, everybody else who might have a tendency to commit violence against the women, against girls, will start to stop. And when we fail, not only we fail one family, but we fail everybody, because we are indirectly giving permission, allowing the continuation of violence against women, violence against girls, and violence generally in our city and in our country.
Pakop added that the city authority is launching the Women's Forum this month in response to supporting policing efforts by security personnel and development partners. This initiative aims to make the city safer for women and girls and the general public too.
Announcement that we will be launching an initiative soon, but I've held back launching this initiative because I want it to be a right initiative, to be an initiative that will work, that will help the police and everybody to bring safety and security to our city.
Meanwhile, the NCD governor said wardens comprising of youths will be deployed to the streets of Port Moresby to help police minimize lawlessness. They are currently undergoing training to understand their roles and responsibilities before they go out to the public and implement what is expected of them. Governor Pakop said they must know and understand what they need to do to better protect women and girls, especially those utilizing public amenities in hotspot areas like Barako, Goden, and Manu.
So the wardens are here. It's been 1 or 2 weeks now, but I have not allowed the wardens to be deployed, because first and foremost, these wardens, they must learn to look after themselves first before they go and look after women and girls of our city.
Member for Gazelle and Minister for Fisheries, TVWAN has urged the people of Vunagamata in the TVWAN local level government area of Gazelle district in East New Britain province to embrace and support the tourism industry in the area. Wong made this call when officially opening the William Kilala Memorial Hall at Vunagamata over the weekend.
Tourism encompasses much more than just leisurely vacations and exploring far-off destinations. Member for Gazelle and Minister for Fisheries and Marine Resources, TVWAN has urged people to tap into tourism industry and participate in the spin-offs tourism can provide in their area. He said the Gazelle District Development Authority plans to build more tourism infrastructure in the area but need people to embrace the changes that will come with it.
Natapos mi pa tuk-tuk lo tourism. Minus mi pa put in rot. But mindset go man masenes. You must welcome him, my man. Tamo man like come picnic lawyer. You can provide him firewood, charge him all 20 kina, but lose him out. Let him all come enjoy him this lahap, enjoy him water blow you me, sea blow you me. Let him all come and walk him, but you look him as some planting man by come.
Wong is banking on the young and agile to take lead in the industry. He added that there is too much of the blame game for lack of service delivery.
Ting lo go to school, walking school good, but ting lo respect lo go to mama and papa. You know easy time where mama and papa will buy school fee blow you, even though government him subsidize him, planting long all, but he must got this level of respect his staff, where you believe us and papa mama blow you. Time will born him you. All the born him you nothing. Or give him reason lo you. And God give him picking lo finish long all give him this la picking lo mipla. This la picking must come up and walk and want a good for something inside the place believe me. Me got this la belief. Now Mr. Belief lo this la respect where or picking must show him lo papa mama. Sometimes this la Western cultures to come inside lo place believe me. Plenty of picking lo mipla say gaman hari apna. Walk him this la Facebook number. Facebook in a life. Facebook and want a platform where all months ago siran now youth now months looking all this something or looking Mary or man siran lo up now throw my hook go all pull him or come inside lo kind something. Facebook does not run our wards, does not run our allergies, or does not run our district or our province. And you Mr. Walking.
Wong also encouraged partnership with churches to address socio-economic challenges and progress together as a district. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
In regional news, there's been another deadly round of Israeli strikes in Gaza's north, with Hamas saying more than 30 Palestinians have been killed in an attack on a residential building. Locals say the dead are all members of the same family and that there were more than 50 people inside the house when it was hit.
Strike that ripped through a neighbourhood in the northern Gaza town of Jabalia, an area which has been the focus for the Israel Defence Forces campaign against Hamas over the course of the last month. The IDF saying the group is using the area to regroup and refocus its efforts. Locals say the dead are all members of the same family and that there were more than 50 people inside the house when it was hit. The IDF insisting it was targeting Hamas militants, some of the group's fighters saying they'd been targeting Israeli soldiers in nearby Beit Lahia. Dozens of bodies from Jabalia were taken to a hospital in Gaza City where their relatives mourned.
We woke up and we found this massacre. We don't even know why this massacre happened or why these poor people were targeted. They were just living ordinary lives, going about their daily routines. They're not part of any organisation or faction or anything.
To Israel's north, strikes in Lebanon have killed dozens, including in areas not usually associated with the militant group Hezbollah. In the village of Al-Mat, north of Beirut, crews were digging through the rubble to find survivors after a strike hit the town. Hezbollah is usually seen as operating in southern and increasingly eastern Lebanon. In places like the Bekaa Valley, where strikes have also continued over the weekend, paramedics among the dead there. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says attacks against Israeli football supporters in the Dutch capital Amsterdam are evidence of growing anti-Semitism, which he says is a threat to Israel and a threat right around the world. Some of the Maccabi Tel Aviv supporters have been accused of chanting anti-Palestinian rhetoric, of ripping down Palestinian flags. Those are issues that Benjamin Netanyahu didn't address in his latest video statement.
Port Hedland in Western Australia's Pilbara region is at the heart of a multi-billion iron ore industry which underpins the national economy. It is a major effort to get the ore to port, with the role of guiding the giant bulk ore carriers, requiring the skills of highly trained marine pilots, and the port is encouraging more women to take on the challenge.
More than 3,000 giant ships arrive off the coast of Port Hedland every year to collect and deliver the iron ore that makes this port one of the busiest in the world. Guiding these giants requires specialist knowledge. The ABC was flown on a Pilbara Ports flight to witness a marine pilot bringing a 300-metre long bulk carrier into port.
The pilot, in essence, manages the risk and channel integrity of the port and the port infrastructure. So I look at a pilot as like an insurance policy.
With around 600 million tonnes of material passing through Port Hedland every year, the economic output is comparable to the entire economy of countries like Myanmar or Turkmenistan. It was the chance to join such a big operation that lured Mr Ruxton from the Port of London to WA's remote northwest.
So everybody wants to drive the bigger ships, and this is what I'm able to do here.
Bringing him in was part of a new strategy to employ marine pilots directly rather than relying on contractors.
COVID was really a reality check for us in terms of the reliability of bringing pilots to port. A lot of ours were based on the East Coast. That caused a lot of problems.
Marine pilot-related delays at the port have come down about 60%, and our aim is to get that essentially to zero.
The port also wants to employ more women in this role. Only 10 women are working as marine pilots in Australia. 2 are in Port Hedland.
Going to sea isn't the natural career path for women. It's very much more accepted now that you can go to sea, that you can have that full career path to master or to pilotage or in the port itself.
A career path keeping Australia's iron ore powerhouse in shipshape.
In sports, Orchids captain Elsie Albert is adamant the tale of PNG Orchids Pacific Championships campaign lies not in the result but in the enormous impact it will have on aspiring youngsters back home. The Orchids lose to Fetu Samoa on Sunday means they drop from the top-tier Pacific Cup down to the Pacific Bowl in 2025. But the skipper could hold her head high after another inspirational display as she went the full 70 minutes in blustering heat. Playing in a 10th test for PNG, Albert crossed for 2 tries, ranked up 178 run meters, bust 13 tackles and made 23 tackles of her own to take home player of the match honours after being shut out 84-0 by the Jillaroos and 36-0 by the Kiwi First. The Orchids were determined to score at Comeback Stadium, and when Albert powered over in the 48th minute, the joy on her teammates' faces told the story. PNG Kumals have ended their 2024 Pacific Championships campaign with a defeat in the hands of strong New Zealand Kiwis outfit yesterday in Sydney, Australia. The promotion relegation match kicked off in style. The Kumals showed grit to hold off the star-studded Kiwis outfit at just 16-0 at halftime, but the second half performance from the Kiwis blew the Kumals off the park with a dominant 54-12 win. The victory gave the Kiwi right to remain in the Cup tournament next year and Kumals to play for bowl again. In the losing side, Captain Rhys Martin, Kosobandi, Sylvester Namo were up for the task, giving their best. Namo and Robert Debbie have been crossed the line for a try.
Johnson ventures across field. There you see, finds Keanu Kinney coming underneath. Kept the ball alive. Neem did well. Great offload out of the right hand to Leo Thompson, who went close before, denied earlier. And this time gets a try from playing under 17s, Harold Matthews football and schoolboy rugby for Newington College. to test level and does a beautiful in and away there on Robert Derby. Big right-hand fend and lays it on a platter.
And pass back inside to Charles Nickel-Klukstad, who's had a fine game in the 6 down that left-hand side. But it's the two young superstars, 18-year-old Casey McLean on debut, showing what this jersey means to him. He scored a try, the opening try of the game, sets up chance here, but Keanu Kinney also equally as good.
That ends the news update. Join us for more at 6.